Hi there, we're going to go ahead and do the day 29 notes on screencast because I lost power one day there. So let's go ahead and talk about warm-ups. We'll kind of jump past these real quick. We've got our moment of silence and we'll jump into our questions. So questions were, what part of the ecology test did you do best on? What was the most challenging part of the testing unit? And what's one thing you learned from the homework about cell structures? And if you have Magic Helmet, what would it allow you to do? So hopefully you got some good answers to that. The music that I had on for this morning or this afternoon was Harry Styles, She, the instrumental version from the album Fine Lines there. So, and then extra credit, we've got the extra credit for the California Coastal Commission Art and Poetry Contest is available. Kind of continuing on through December 4th if you're interested. And then the homework, we were checking 7.2. That was due by the start of class, and then there was a video for you to watch to kind of go along with it. New homework is a chapter 7.1 to 7.2 cell structure quiz, and then there is a unit 2 test redo that's available. So you, depending on what you got on the test, or actually anybody who whatever score you got on the test, you can go ahead and you can retake that test using this online quiz and earn back half credit on your test there for a unit 2 test. So, but I want to jump us into kind of a little bit of background on cells. This is from 7.1, but just to kind of a little bit of background is that cells weren't really discovered as a thing until we could see them, which happened in the 1600s. Two names that are really closely associated with understanding cells are Robert Hooke, who's the one who named the cells, and he named them because he was looking at slices of cork bark, and you can see that in the picture here. And he thought that the little square spaces looked like the little spaces that monks lived in monasteries. But the first person to kind of look at and observe microscopic organisms and make good use of microscopes was this guy on the right here, Anton von Leeuwenhoek, or Leeuwenhoek, I've heard different pronunciations. And this is just a picture of some of the things that he saw and drew using his microscope. So, yeah, so when we look at cells today, we say, well, how is it that cells do the things that what's the role that they play in life? And so we explain that role using what we call the modern cell theory. So there's 3 points to it that we're going to focus on. That's all living things are made of cells. Cells are the basic unit of structure and function in living things, and that new cells are produced from existing cells. So there's more than that, but these are the 3 that I just want us to focus on. So here you can kind of see these are the 3 that we looked at. All living things are made of cells, the basic unit of, and arising from pre-existing cells. There's some other ones, but we're just going to focus on those 3. So, okay. So a little more background here is that cells come in a variety of shapes and sizes, but at their core they contain a couple of components. They all contain some sort of genetic component, DNA or RNA, and this is surrounded by a thin flexible barrier called a cell membrane, and then that's filled with a fluid called cytoplasm here. There's 2 basic categories of cells, depending on whether or not they contain the nucleus, which is where we have a big chunk of that DNA here. And if they do have a nucleus, we call them eukaryotic cells. If they don't have a nucleus, we call them prokaryotic cells. And then we're going to spend most of our efforts focusing on eukaryotic cells. So here's just kind of a visual. You can see the prokaryotic cell on the left. It has this genetic component, just they call it a nucleoid here, just kind of free floating inside the cell. It's got a cell membrane and a cell wall and some other stuff. And then on the right here, we've got an animal cell. These are not to scale. The prokaryotic cell is actually about 1/1000th the size of an animal cell, which is about 1,000 times larger than that. But the animal cell, you can see, is got a lot more complexity in it. It's got mitochondria and Golgi and cytoskeleton and all sorts of things on the inside of it that are kind of going on there. Okay, so got a couple questions for you. Which of the following is not part of the modern cell theory? So take a moment to look those over. You can pause the video if you want. Hopefully you'll figure out that it is B, that is not a part of the modern cell theory. And then a cell with a nucleus is known as a eukaryotic cell, true or false? And it turns out that answer is true. All right, so I'm going to stop it here. We're going to start second part of the video in just a second, but we'll pick back up with 7.2 and move into that information. So.